Hello, Leo. Welcome to Spicy Sunflower Tarot. This is going to be a reading for the week of October 13th through the 17th. So just a very quick check-in for the week coming up that we are just now starting off in. So I hope this message reaches you, either for you to look ahead with a little bit of a preview, or for you to look back on and see if there's any truth or relevance or something that can help you as you navigate. I am hoping that Leo is, a sun, moon, rising sign. It can also be a Venus or a Mars placement. Really, anywhere that you have Leo in your chart, you might check into this reading and discover that there's elements of truth. And then again, if it doesn't fit, don't ever make a tarot reading fit. So let it just be a unique experience for you if that is the case. Otherwise, leave it for someone else that it maybe fits better for. So I am just going to check in here, do a quick 5-card spread, 5-card layout essentially, and then a row of clarification. I also have the Spirit Junkie Oracle cards to finish off the reading. This is the Astro Matrix Tarot cards, and I'm also going to use the Rider-Waite-Smith. So Leo, I do thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your energy. Right away, we have your energy showing up, King of Wands. So really feeling yourself this week. And I mean that in a good way. I mean the confidence, the regality, the leadership, the tribal sense. The Leo has the lion has their tribe, their lioness and their cubs, and they're all in their pack and their family. You're really feeling those very strong tendencies of the sign of Leo. You do not have to be a male to be feeling yourself in this King of Wands aspect. It's just the masculine vibe of protectivity, watching out for your young, watching out for your family members, taking care of things, the pride. I believe that's what it's called. My bad. I was trying so hard to remember. What is it called when the lions are in their group? It's a pride, the lion's pride. So that's their group, and that's your energy, and that is not a bad thing. That is not the same thing as an egotistical type person, someone who's conceited and kind of stuck up. I think that would be the shadow aspects. But in this instance, the upright King of Wands, I really just feel that you're feeling all that stateliness, that, like I said, regality, that I am royalty. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. It's just a very strong sense of confidence. So let's see what else is going on in this week. Starting off strong with that King of Wands, Leo, feeling your energy, feeling yourself. It's really admirable. And that is also another stately quality of a lion, of a Leo. Admiration. Maybe you're just so used to it, not in a bad way. Again, I'm not speaking ill at any kind of way about a Leo. Definitely noteworthy. Eyes see you when you walk into a room. You just have that magnetic energy to you. And then we have another very powerful, very fiery follow-up in the Emperor, and really stating that you are, feeling those Leo vibes, but you are following it up with head cheese, big man in charge, big woman in charge. What do they call that? HBIC. So I really think, male or female, you are feeling yourself. And I'm speaking in terms of confidence. I think you're feeling very self-assured. I think you're feeling very strutting your stuff because you've got a presentation to give at work and you're ready for it. You have an interview and you're ready for it. Your boss calls and expects you to fill in for them while they're out of town. You're here for it. Do you know what I mean? You're really stepping up to the plate in a strong, fiery, passionate, magnetic way. So what else is going on for Leo? Because that seems like a lot, which that's an exciting way. I think your week's going to fly by if that's the case. That's for sure. We have Queen of Cups. So we have this masculine energy, fire, and we have this feminine energy, water. So maybe this is the presentation that you show the world, but then inside you're ooey gooey, soft and chewy, Queen of Cups. So I think we all have the ability to have many different layers to our personality. In this regard, it seems as if, Leo, you're really coming out of the gate strong, but behind the scenes, maybe in your private time or with your special someone or just behind closed doors, this vulnerable Queen of Cups. Now she is strong. And just remember, there's no sex in tarot. It's just the masculine or feminine qualities. So I'm just saying she because it's a woman figured on the card, but she is feeling herself. She is very strong. And I think the Queen of Cups also does put on the air of I have everything under control. But again, kind of behind the scenes, behind closed doors, I think there is a vulnerable aspect to her. So definitely protective. Queen of Cups is empathic, intelligent, emotionally intelligent. So I think she understands the concept of reading the room and knowing who deserves to be given the behind the scenes truth. I think that the Queen of Cups is going to stand strong in the crowd, but she knows who she can let her hair down and let her guard down with. But I think that underneath this very strong exterior of you, Leo, there is a softer, nurturing, vulnerable side. It's just definitely not for everybody's eyes. What else can we tell Leo? That is a very powerful, strong start. We have masculine qualities. We've got feminine, balanced qualities. We have this head person in charge energy, the Emperor. And now we have the Seven of Wands. So very similar to what I was saying about you're going to show the world one thing, but behind closed doors, there is an element of vulnerability to you, Leo. And I think you're just not going to show the whole world that. Very clear with the Seven of Wands being here, making the statement that boundaries are firmly in place. You definitely know who you can share your softer side with, and you know who you cannot. So, if you're going out into the world as the Emperor with that mask on, that you're playing the boss, you're playing the person in charge, you're giving the presentation, you're shining brightly. I think that Seven of Wands is a behind the scenes. I'm not, I've got boundaries. Not everybody's getting in. Just remember, boundaries aren't walls. They're boundaries. And I think that is another aspect of Queen of Cups. Healthy emotional boundaries. I know who I can share certain things with, and I know who I can't. And I'm very clear about that. And that is healthy. That's actually a very healthy way to live life. So congratulations. So much fire. We're two fire, sensitive water in the middle. So that really does kind of highlight what I was saying. I think you do have a very soft and nurturing side, but I don't think you're showing that to the whole world. And this family energy, this it's 1111. It's card number 4 of Wands. It's really highlighting the fact of home is where you let your guard down. That is where, your pride, your family resides. And I think that is very, very precious to you. You hold that family in the highest of regard. So you go out in the world and, you're shining bright like a diamond. But when you come home where you can be your soft, sensitive self, home is where your heart is. There is no doubt about that. Four of Wands is the finishing card of this row. And then at the bottom of the deck, confirmation that you are feeling yourself this week, Leo. There is no doubt about it. We have Ace of Wands, which is a brand new creative opportunity showing up in your life. This can definitely be a job offer. So maybe, like I was saying earlier, maybe you're going on an interview and you're really shining brightly. Ace of Wands is also, just because of the phallic nature of the wand itself, this can be a new start and a passionate, romantic endeavor. This is very much about romantic, passionate beginnings. Ace of Wands, anything ace is the beginning of something new. Even if you've been with your person for 1,000,000 years, this can be you two maybe rediscovering one another. So there's so many different ways to look at the Ace of Wands and what that's bringing to this table and what's going on. I would really love to hear what's happening in the life of a Leo. This seems very magnetic and passionate and exciting. So Leo, you never disappoint, truly and honestly. As a fellow fixed sign, I am a Scorpio and Leo. I've always had such a connection to the sign of Leo. I relate in so many ways. I'm just like the water version of a fire sign. So I think a Scorpio, that's my fixed nature. Leos, I'm always fascinated by your, what is the French way to say it? Joie de vivre, your ability to just latch on to life, and you're very dynamic. You always fascinate me. To be honest, honestly, you fascinate me. I'm going to bring out this second row. We're going to do Rider-Waite-Smith. I'm really interested in what's going on in the life of a Leo this week. Oh boy, so many different ways to go with all of this energy. What about the King of Wands? Why is the King of Wands here? Why is the fixed fire king, this masculine assuredness, confident, I'm going to say sexy, just feeling your energy. I love it. It seems like such a confident, self-assured stance. Following, clarifying King of Wands is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant, card number 5, major arcana for the sign of Taurus. Taurus is our other fixed zodiac sign. Taurus represents knowledge that is obtained by outside circumstances. So the Hierophant is usually a spiritual teacher, some sort of a minister, pope, priest, pastor. It can be a yoga teacher, somebody that has obtained their knowledge by studying books of knowledge or outside sources. So the Hierophant is the external form of knowledge. I think that whatever it is that you're doing this week to be in this King of Wands, I think you've studied up on some things. You've read, books of knowledge to get you to this point coming up in this week. I think the Hierophant is here to say that you're standing on truth. You're standing on knowledge. You're standing on substantive information. You've gotten your information that you're holding maybe for that job interview. Like I said, if that's part of what this is, you've learned about the company, you've learned about the organization. You don't show up to your interview, not knowing anything. I think you've looked into and you feel very confident. If this is you in your current job that you already hold and you're just really feeling I'm promoted to a boss person, or I'm reporting to my boss, or I'm putting on that presentation, you've studied up on that. You're ready. You're definitely ready. Nobody is going to catch you with your quote unquote pants down. So you're not going to be in that vulnerable state. Like I said, I think your vulnerability comes when you're at home and you can let your guard down. I think out in the public, You're showing you've got your game face on, but I really think it's a real legitimate self-assuredness. And there is some sort of conflict that what I'm gathering is this is you holding your swords in your hand. So you've got 3 swords with you, and there are 2 opponents that have turned and walked away, dropping each of their swords just down in front of you. So you definitely are ahead of the game. If this was a job interview, promotion potential, and you had competitors, you definitely came out on top. You definitely, I'm going to say, won the battle, won the fight. You know how they say about you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to or every fight you're invited to. Well, I think you showed up because you have truth. Maybe you're an attorney. You had the facts and the figures solid, and the people that were coming against you, maybe the other interviewees or people in your company, they understood that this was not a match for them, and they turned and walked away. The Queen of Cups, this vulnerable, soft, sensitive side that I think every Leo really does possess. I think everybody really does have their softer side, but you for sure, I think you have a side to you that you really don't show everybody. Why is the Queen of Cups here? It's a sense of regret. There's a sense of remorse. The 5 of Cups is showing up under the Queen of Cups, and there is this softer, gentler side that feels real feelings, that has real regrets. The 5 of Cups is what we consider crying at the river of tears. So remembering when times were good, remembering the past, remembering when we used to have A, B, C, and D. We had a special someone. We had this, that, and the other thing. The 5 of Cups is, I think it's keeping your sensitive side alive and well, because we don't want to have regrets. We don't want to have remorse and look back on our life and wish we would have done things differently. I think looking back on certain aspects of life teaches you and has taught you that the sensitive side of yours is a gift. But again, it's not for everyone to see. It is your sensitive, sweet side, Leo, but you don't show that to everybody. 7 of Wands. Why is the 7 of Wands here? This sense that you have to keep your healthy boundaries intact. And you have to sometimes remind people that that's a boundary of yours and you're not comfortable that they cross it. Because again, the Ace of Wands, you're very passionate about who you are and what you bring to the table. You're very secure in that aspect of yourself. This can be, like I said, definitely very probable that a job offer is on the table. A new job opportunity is underfoot. You are really getting out there and opening yourself up to your creative, passionate, fiery side, but really screams out a job offer, a promotion, something to do with work, new opportunity. Why is the 4 of Wands here? That happy house, happy spouse, 1111 soulmate energy. And then we do have these Ace of Wands, so it can definitely be there's some va-va-voom going on behind closed doors. We have 2 of Wands, so choosing between your comfort zone, your happy life behind closed doors where you can really be yourself, versus your power position when you're out in the business world, in meetings, on the job, doing your presentations. I think there is a definite drastic difference between boardroom Leo versus tender lover Leo. There are 2 different sides to your personality for sure. At the bottom of the deck, we have another king. This is the King of Pentacles, really signing off the reading with the assurance that you are a master of your ability to maintain that grounded nature of yours. Not only are you a fiery, confident, good-looking leader, but you are a leader in another way, and that is you've got your investments in check. Your CDs are all set up. Your 401k plan, you've got your health benefits. You just paid off your house. You've got legacy energy underneath you financially. So your time, your efforts, and your energy, your pentacles, you've mastered how it is that you spend those and how it is that you receive those. So you give calculatingly, strategically. You understand that everything costs something. You've weighed the costs of what it means for you to be in this environment versus this environment, your comfort zone versus the workplace. Maybe the workplace is your comfort zone, but I really feel like you have strategically mastered your passions, your position in the job front, on the job front, versus who you are behind closed doors with that special someone in your life. Ace of Wands can really be applied romantically or creative job pursuit wise. So this is exciting. I would love to hear how you feel. Please remember to just touch that like button, repost, share, follow, subscribe. Any way that you interact with the channel is always appreciated. It's so helpful to the growth of the channel and to me. And I appreciate to hear any feedback on how this reading suits you, fits you. So finishing up for Leo with one of the Spirit Junkie Oracle cards. This is Gabrielle Bernstein's Spirit Junkie cards, and I'm going to do just a couple more shuffles here. I hope that the week serves you well and treats you kind. Leo, I appreciate your energy and attention. We have, I honor my self-worth by asking for what I want. That is very indicative of Ace of Wands. Not being shy to ask for what you want. Also, not being shy to receive when something's offered to you. Leo, thank you again for being here. I wish you the very best. Always. Namaste.